Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yo, I've been up. Welcome to the pipeline. I've been up doing this research. I have went to sleep, y'all. Y'all know me. If y'all in here, hit the like button. Let's come on into the live. Y'all, I fell asleep at like 7. I fell asleep at like 7. I woke up at like 11:30, and I've been finishing up my last little info, last little research and information about Boog the Bandit. Rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family. And I'm gonna drop some stuff for y'all tonight that I don't really know how this gonna go, but y'all know I gotta give it to y'all straight, no chaser. Straight, no chaser. I've been doing a lot of research with these new emails that been coming in. I would say about the last 8 days. I appreciate the emails. Thank y'all for that. Thanks for supporting the channel. Ciphering through all those emails and following up on the details of those emails, it could be time consuming sometimes. So when y'all don't see me come with a story for a while, I like to do a deep investigation because I just don't like to put anything out there. I don't. I don't believe in just doing things for content. I don't run my channel like that. I try to be real straightforward. I try to be honest with y'all. I mean, of course, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I don't try to make it seem like or put on I have all the answers. I don't. I just do my research, come across a little information from time to time, reach out to a few people. People reach out to me, and I follow up on these things through public information and just research. So I'm gonna wait for y'all to come on in. I know it's early late. But I'd rather give it to y'all this time than waiting tomorrow. Cause I did tell y'all Tuesday, even though it's Wednesday morning. But if I would have waited any later, y'all probably wouldn't have been able to get it till tonight. Late tonight, Wednesday. And I didn't want to do that. I try to stay on my time limit, even though y'all know I'm gonna go over. Y'all know I be late and stuff, but I try to stick in like that time frame or try to be as close as possible. So I'm gonna let y'all come on in here. If you ain't here, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Let me get my water. Let me get situated. Y'all take your time. I mean, it's early. Where we going? If you up, you in here. So I'm gonna wait for y'all to come on in. Good morning. Good morning. If you in here, comment. Let's comment on this information. Let's comment on the story. Y'all know we got love for Boog, and we gonna keep going with this thing until we pretty much kind of can hit it on the head with a hammer. Cause right now, in the way it's coming together, y'all, this information that I'm about to drop tonight is kind of it's different. This video could go all the way left or it can go all the way right, but I gotta give y'all the truth, and I got to give y'all the information that was provided to me. And like I said, all of this is allegedly. This is all allegedly, because we don't know if this stuff is a fact. These are people who are close to the situation or maybe came across her or knew affiliates involved in this. These are their opinions and the things that they know that they share with me. So, people chase clout and people lie and, misinterpret information and try to get me to go off my narrative. So it's very important that I got to sift through the emails very carefully, because a lot of people, when it comes to this case, has tried to get me to change my narrative, and I'm not going to do that. So it take me time to get y'all this information. So let's get into it. So we got to go where we left off at. To the girlfriend. Let's go to the girlfriend situation. Cuz to me, I don't know her involvement, and like I said, if she is involved, I don't know. But a lot of people, the information they keep bringing me boils down to I don't know if it's about the chain. I mean, I know Boog demise wasn't about this chain, But it's the connection with the girlfriend with the chain and the connection with her and Mr. Kyson. I don't know if are they family, y'all, Mr. Kyson and the girl, or did they mess around, or what was I can't get that connection. I can't understand why the girlfriend would be following him on Instagram if they not family or if it was something more than a friendship, allegedly. The information I'm getting is that the chain, she wants to change just for the simple fact her and Boog went half on this chain. So the chain does hold, it's memorabilia for the girlfriend, and she feel like she put her bread on it, so she want the chain. And I guess that's pretty much what it is with her and the chain. I don't know if her and Boog wasn't together at that time, or was they both just doing their own thing, and the girlfriend became a little spiteful. That's a puzzle to me that I still need to get information on, that whole connection. If they was Mr. Kyson and her family, you know what I'm saying? If they was family, we kind of can kind of see in a way if she was following him on Instagram, if it's family. But you still in the bind when you got to choose between your family and the person you love. Like, I don't think, and this is just for all of us, just speaking, can you follow your loved one's killer on social media? I mean, I think it's just so weird with that whole connection. So they go and say, like, okay, well, she got the chain. It's all about the chain. She want the chain. She got kicked out the funeral. But I'm like, well, okay, well, it's a fact she got kicked out the funeral. This is a fact. But what is the reason on you getting kicked out the funeral? Is this chain, is it really about the chain, why she got kicked out the funeral, allegedly, or could it been her connection and involvement with Mr. Kyson? These is just the emails that's coming my way. And we have to put real life emotion behind thinking about the three connection between Boog, Mr. Kyson, and the girlfriend. Was they all real close friends? Did the girlfriend mess with Mr. Kyson? Did the girlfriend, did she do music? Like, it's still, I'm getting pieces of the puzzle with the girlfriend and Kyson and Boog. And I know they saying it's like not really about the chain. The chain is playing a part, like I said, because the girlfriend went half on the chain. Her and Boog went in on the chain. Well, Miss Wanda has the chain. But why would the girl come to the funeral and spaz out? I mean, and get kicked out? Hey, big homie. Thank you for tapping into the live. So why would the girlfriend go to the funeral and get kicked out over a chain? I mean, y'all gotta help me with that part. So I'm still doing information on that. And the next thing I'm about to say, I'm doing good, big homie. I'm doing good. I didn't drop the story on Boog on time, so I gotta give it to y'all in the way I'm sifting through this information. But it's a lot of fingers allegedly pointing at the girlfriend. They don't know if she got something to do with it. Allegedly, they don't know if she was messing with Mr. Kyson. Yeah, she was a dope rapper. She was a dope rapper. She really was. She was. And that's my whole thing. Because it's a lot of people from, like I told you on day one, like, you not paying attention to the girlfriend. But I'm like, I can't just... So it ain't no connection with who? It ain't no connection with the girlfriend of Mr. Kyson? Because why would she be following Mr. Kyson on Instagram if it ain't no kind of connection? If it ain't no connection, like, I don't understand that then. They either had to be friends, or was Boog girlfriend cool with Mr. Kyson's sister and she know him? You know what I'm saying? Because we already know about Mr. Kyson, the people and stuff, the stuff that's going on with him and the people on Dork Place. I don't know, because everybody keeps saying about the girlfriend was in Miami. See, that's another thing emails was saying. Only two. I got two emails. They was like, oh, where the girlfriend? She had went to Miami. She was in Miami when Boog died. Yeah, we know she not married. Yeah, we know they not married. Everybody keeps saying Miss Jazz is disrespectful. I've encountered the little cross paths with me and her with the whole clout chasing shit. You know what I'm saying? So I already know the mentality of the girlfriend. And y'all gotta understand too, at the end of the day, these kids is in their young 20s and stuff. So the maturity level and the mindset ain't thinking, properly and maturely when it comes to certain matters. So certain behaviors, you got to know what to expect when you're dealing with a certain age group, because Boog was most definitely backdoored by people that she knew. Could they plan it and made her fall into the trap? That's what I'm saying. Did the girlfriend know all of this was going to happen and went to Miami allegedly, and went to Miami to cover up trails? That could be a possibility. And yeah, she did get kicked out the funeral because she was disrespectful. And that's what I'm saying. What could cause you to be that disrespectful? The woman you love funeral, you goes in there, disrespect the mother, disrespect the family, disrespect the person who you love, and about a chain. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, is money really that serious? Was this girl in it for the money, or was she in it for the love? We talk about this all the time. Just because a person with you don't mean they with you for all the wrong reason. And I'm not saying that's the case, because I don't know their relationship, but I'm saying how it's all unfolding after Boog's demise. It doesn't seem like she is going about her life as a person that's grieving. And we all know how everybody grieves differently. So we can't say she not grieving. Because I got to keep it real with y'all on all ends of the spectrum. We just can't say the girl not grieving because we don't like the way that she grieving. Who are we to say that? But what I'm saying is, your actions and the way you moving is not the movements of a person that's really grieving and concerned and hurting about your loved one who murder just got captured, and you following the killer on Instagram. Y'all gotta make it make sense to me, because I can't find that connection. Right? So I get the emails, I do the research, and I just got finished researching some more stuff, y'all. So I'm gonna just put it out there, and this could go left or this could go right, but I only could give y'all the research that I have been finding, and y'all know I've been covering this for a long time, right? Y'all know I've been covering this for a long time, but I'm gonna just come straight out and come forward with it. It seemed like Boog, from the investigation I've done and the research that I found, it seemed like the whole situation was a drug deal gone bad. I mean, Columbus was telling me this, but it seemed like it was an attempted robbery based on a drug deal that went left. And I didn't want to bring it in that way. People in Columbus kept telling me, like, it was a drug deal. Allegedly, Boog did sell drugs, allegedly. I don't know if she was selling drugs at the time of her death, but the research and the information I came across, and I keep coming across it, it's about this drug deal. The way they did it to her sounded like a setup. Oh yeah, it was most definitely a setup. And like I said, everybody kept telling me, like, it's either about the girlfriend, it's about a female, or it's about the drugs, right? And the way it's looking, y'all, it's looking like it most definitely was a back door. We know it was a back door. She was backdoored by somebody close. And she was backdoored by these names, somebody in these names that we have been discussing for the last few weeks. I'm not going to put a name out there. I'm not. But she most definitely was backdoored by some of the, by, if not two, If not one person, two people was behind this. And it most definitely seemed like it was a drug transaction that went left. It went left. And they saying the accidental shooting that Mr. Kyson allegedly didn't mean to shoot. But after the shot went off, it was like, well, it's witnesses now, people out here, I gotta finish the job kind of thing. But that's why people were saying it was an accident. She was in Miami, she flew back the next day. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And see, I showed y'all an email about the Miami sweet heat. But see, people, the emails that I was getting, they were saying Boog was in Miami too. I don't know if Boog, and I didn't get proof on that, but this was some emails that came my way that I shared with y'all in a previous video. Y'all have to go back about the Miami sweet heat and about the girl who I showed y'all, who she was down there with. But she was a part of this group, and they was all entrepreneurs, they was bosses, and she had friends she would meet up down there, but I don't know if that was true. But supposedly Boog was in Miami a couple days before she got killed, allegedly. I don't know if it was a couple of days before she passed or a week before. And then the day before Boog passed, the girlfriend go to Miami and come back. So it seemed like this Miami thing, I don't know if this play was already ran. If the back door was already set up a week, it seemed like it was a few weeks or a week prior before her demise, this was all set up within the last week or two of her life. And that's the part that's like crazy to me, because, and that's why I tell y'all, Boog was very, very smart, because she could have went on Dork Place by herself. She could have went. Boog was not scary. She could have went, but something in her instinct, her intuition kicked in, and she went and got camera. First of all, if I don't trust you, why would I go get Mr. Lockhart? Her and Mr. Lockhart relationship was tighter, from what the research I've been doing the last few weeks, it's tighter than what we all thought it was. People in camp, she did eventually only give. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, and another thing that we all got to keep in mind too, because I'm gonna talk about Mr. Lockhart too, because I got some stuff that I want to talk about him about too today. That's important. That I gotta let the people know. But yeah. So the back door seemed like it was set up 2 weeks before Boog died. Just if you pay attention to the social media posts, Winter PX, hey Winter PX, because she wanted Courtney's stuff out of the room. The girlfriend, you talking about? We gonna call her MJ. That's gonna be her nickname, because I don't like to say they full names. If y'all notice, I either pronounce it by their last name, call them Mr. or Mrs. or initials. So yeah, it's like it seemed like the back door was set up, because like if you go to their Instagram post, everybody involved, you go to their social media and go back to dates, a timeline before Boog died. It seemed like the stuff that was being said kind of like people was feeling betrayed or something. Like they was all doing a lot of subliminals. That sounds more like a setup. They're trying to rob her for her money if they didn't get it. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. With the robbery, I didn't know y'all Mr. Kyson gave the money. Because see, with y'all, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Cameron got robbed too. Cameron was assaulted, pistol whipped, and robbed as well. See, I got people from Columbus sent me these emails, y'all. Shout out to y'all. Because the last few weeks I've been doing all this research, and I didn't know that Boog had the fanny pack. She had the fanny pack, and I read it in the report too. She had the fanny pack that he got, Mr. Kyson, and then he go drop the money off to the relative. I'm like, what kind of shit was that? Like, see, they didn't think about the after effect, but she never did. She did eventually only return one pendant. Is that the pendant that she gave Miss Wanda? Yeah, because they were saying allegedly from the emails I got, she feel like she went in on the chain. They went half and half. It cost them a few bands. So they went half on the tab. So she feel like, listen, that's my girl. I put money on it. I want that back. I mean, and let's be honest though, y'all. Let's keep it a buck. How many people do y'all know have been in them situations? Or maybe you've been in them situations. Say, for instance, you go buy a car and put it in your girl name, or the girl buy a car, put it in the dude name. People get into it about that stuff all the time. Like, well, it's my car because it's in my name. And it's like, nah, it's mine. I pay. Like, we went half on it. So we can kind of relate to that. Courtney wasn't in Miami. She was supposed to meet me there. Okay. So that's where the whole Miami Sweet Heat came from. Because allegedly, this Miami Sweet Heat event, the Miami Sweet Heat event is once a year. And Boog attends it every year. And I guess her group of friends, because, you know, she got people all over the world, they would meet up at the Miami Sweet Heat event. So when the person hit me with the email, they was like, pretty much, I'm not sure. I mean, this could be totally coincident or it could be a fact. But when the girlfriend got back from Miami, I guess her Instagram, she went to Instagram, and some other little stuff came out. So they was like, is it just coincidence that Boog either was on her way to Miami or coming back? But for a fact, the girlfriend was in Miami. But just do your research on it. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that email. Because I couldn't find no proof that Boog was in Miami. Like, that's the information I was looking for. I'm like, I don't see her in Miami. Like, I didn't see no clips of her at the Miami Sweet Heat. I didn't see nothing of her like landing in Miami a day before the death. I didn't see nothing about the Miami Sweet Heat event that could just lock me into saying, okay, Boog was in Miami on this day, XYZ came back. I couldn't find that information. But I appreciate the email because the person told me they wasn't for sure, but do my research on it. Right. That's what I'm saying. So why is it, Winter PX, listen, why is it that the girlfriend went to Miami and came back the next day after the death, got kicked out the funeral, and followed Mr. Kyson on Instagram? I can't understand that. So who set the back door up? And the back door was in motion, I believe, a week or two prior to Boog's death. Just from the stuff I seen and research, this just wasn't something that happened randomly. Like, we talk about this all the time. They did not see Mr. Lockhart and Boog just pull up on that street. Nah, it didn't go like that. They was lured over there. The play was already in motion. The back door was already unlocked. It was already unlocked. This plan was set up. They was lured back there. And look at that street door place, that back hole back there. This was all a setup. Like I said, it was a back door for sure. Kyson didn't have no bruise on him at all. He wouldn't. Like, why would Kyson have a bruise on him when he was the shooter? The thing is, who was the other people who had Cameron Rock? Because listen, the same thing, this is what I need y'all to know, since we're going to walk into this door about Mr. Lockhart. Yes, that's the pendant. Right, I figured that because somebody real close to the situation told me, like, somebody in her family who I speak to from time to time told me, like, well, Miss Wanda, you know, she got the pendant. The girlfriend is enraged and disrespectful, and so I'm like, all of this over a chain? Like, who would put, like, y'all listen to what I'm saying, right? I can have memories all day. We have a life together. What is it about this chain? I mean, is it about the money? Is this a money game? Was this whole play about money, jealousy, and envy? Because she was already backdoored by the people she loved. But I'm going to open up the door tonight on something that I never expected to see this come. I never expected to see this come. And y'all may not rock with me after this one, but I gotta tell y'all how the door just got open with some more information that came in on Mr. Lockhart. Y'all know, since I've been covering this story, I be in the middle with stuff, you know, so I got to go off of public information, and I also have to go with facts, because that's what this is. The Pipeline News, we get straight to the truth. We weed out the bullshit and we get to the truth. And that's what this is over here. So it's not like Nobody is creating turmoil for nobody. This is the proof and this is the facts. We pass all the lies and all the stages. We at the nitty gritty of this thing now, right? We at the nitty gritty of this thing. It's only it's only two ways this was gonna go. It could have went. It's either about the girlfriend situation with Mr. Kyson allegedly, or it's about the money. It's about the money because this drug deal, I'm telling y'all, it seemed like that's really what this story is about. It seemed like it was a drug deal gone bad. But I'm going to tell y'all, and this is why I couldn't go in on Mr. Lockhart. Y'all ain't going to like what I'm about to say. But from the research I found, and we going to walk all the way through this thing. We're going to walk through this thing. The research that I found, y'all, is Mr. Lockhart is totally innocent. Totally innocent. Totally innocent. And I'm going to tell you about this information that I found out. And when you look at Cameron's situation, don't we ain't going off of what the streets is. We ain't going to go off of the streets. We going to go off of the proof. The proof and his actions and everything that caused people to believe Cameron had something to do with it when he absolutely didn't. First of all, let's go back to the beginning, right? Boog drives over Cameron's house, leave her car over Cameron's house, right? She told Miss Wanda she was going to go do hair. Allegedly, the hair was never an issue. Allegedly, this drug deal was going on, but who would want to tell their parent, I'm about to go shoot this play? That was what allegedly the word was. She told Miss Wanda. She drives her car to Cameron's house to go bust this move. She ain't want to go by herself because obviously something been going on with her and Mr. Kyson. Something about Mr. Kyson. Boog wasn't fucking with dude. And she knew something was going to go left. I believe she knew Mr. Kyson was going to be on some bullshit, or she knew something was going to go down, because that's why she went and got Cameron. If I knew you had a vendetta towards me and you wasn't like my brother, why would I go pick up Cameron? And I could have picked up anybody or could have went by myself. That right there goes to show the relationship and the love that her and Cameron had. They really was like brothers and sisters. From the people that I'm talking to in the emails who telling me Cameron ain't doing too good. Cameron, I don't know, he ain't doing this. They like, well, he changing his story up and all this. But at the same time, y'all know he's still going to have to testify because he was also a witness. Not a suspect. Cameron was never a suspect. He was only a suspect to the streets. The streets persecuted him. That's who persecuted him. He never was a witness, and he got questioned. They released him. Didn't have no evidence. They even went to his phone records. They went through Cameron's phone record, find out he was clear. But for some reason, the streets want to believe that Cameron has something to do with it. So let's go back. She drive her car over Cameron's house, right? Jumps in the car with Cameron. Cameron drives, right? They already knew about the Dort Place move. That's the whole thing. Cameron didn't know nothing about Dort Place. He didn't know nothing about none of that. Boog told him about the play on Dort Place. You gonna drive, take me over there. We gonna see what's up. Now, allegedly, this is when the drug transaction went left, right? So they tried to rob Boog, allegedly, and she wasn't going. We already knew she wasn't going. She wasn't going. By that point, allegedly, from what emails is coming in saying, Cameron was lined up too. They both got lined up, but it was crazy that a lot of people feel like Cameron should have took a bullet as well. A lot of people feel like he could have protected her more than what he did. A lot of people feel like Cameron is the reason why Boog is gone. But if y'all really think about it and really put two and two together and really use common sense, if they both was surrounded by men with handguns, we don't know if they had military guns. They never released the guns. We still don't know what gun Boog was even shot with. We don't know that. But when your life is on the line and you got multiple guns in your face and at your head, you gonna give it up. You gonna give up everything. You feel me? Boog, she had heart too. We not gonna say Cameron ain't had heart, but Boog was pretty much, she knew Mr. Kyson. Like, bro, you really trying to rob me? It ain't about to go like this. Shook Mr. Kyson up like, oh, she ain't just gonna give it up that quick. He had no choice but to shoot because Boog made him feel like a small guy. Made the killer feel like a small guy. I believe that. And with Cameron being shook up already, they didn't already pistol whipped him, robbed him, assaulted him, robbed Boog too. Like, okay, what would anybody do in that situation with guns really at your head? What can you do? So it's like kill or be killed. We both just gonna die. Because if Cameron didn't die, I mean, if Cameron would have passed, like Boog would have got passed away, we wouldn't even know probably as much information as we do know, because it wouldn't be no witnesses. Look, they only got Mr. Kyson. They ain't got the other assailants that was out there yet. They don't have them yet. They only have Mr. Kyson and Mr. Cameron, Mr. Lockhart. These are the only two stories that we have to go by besides what the police and the news are saying. These are the only two physical bodies that was actually there on the scene who knows exactly what happened. That is all that I'm saying is already in the public eye. Mr. Kyson and Mr. Lockhart. Those are the only two who have the pieces to this puzzle that we may not ever be able to put together. We not. But if you think about it, when Mr. Lockhart got Boog in that car, we already know the distance to Mount Carmel East Hospital from Dork Place. He almost saved her life. Cameron literally had to run every stop sign and every light to get her to the hospital. To get it, because he didn't have to do it. Think about it. If I had something to do with this, if I was in on this play in this back door, why would I take her to the hospital? I could have easily took my time, I ran the scene, left the scene. He didn't. He did stay with her. Cameron did stay with her. Only thing we don't know is if he went into the hospital with her, did he leave and come back? That is the part that we still don't know yet. And when that information come to light, we will speak on it. Like I say all the time, anybody close to Mr. Lockhart and could deliver this message, send him to the pipeline. We would love to have an interview with him. We would love to get some kind of email from him, or if he want to speak out, because from what I'm hearing, he talking anyway. If he talking already, what's going to be the difference just to clear your name and come up here and really tell the people who loved her, her friends and her family, her last minute on this earth, what that experience was like with her? Because that's the part we will all want to know. If Cameron's, it went away too fast, you got to come back with that. You got to come back with that. And like I told y'all before, I got a lot of emails saying, Mr. Lockhart, you got it wrong. Mr. Lockhart loyal. It ain't him and Boog was like sister. It was like sister. But the way the story was running when it first hit is like, nah, anybody would think that. Like, how did he not get shot? Right? Because this is how we think and see. As time going on and more information is coming out, Mr. Kyson is locked up, and I'm quite sure the other people that was involved, I believe their time is coming soon too. This is a murder case. These is kids. Like I said, they're in their 20s. I believe more information is going to come out as time go on, and it really is looking like it's either behind this drug transaction or it's about the girlfriend. Allegedly, but that is what it's really boiling down to. It's black and white. It's not that difficult anymore at this point. We know the characters involved. Cameron not around too. Why did he have? I mean, a lot of people. But let me tell y'all something. See, this from the things I found out. Why did Cameron skip town to WV if he innocent? I mean, think about it. If people think I killed somebody and I know I didn't, the death threats is gonna come, because it don't matter what none of us think. I mean, the proof, the police ain't got him in custody. I mean, he was the last one with her. So yeah, a lot of people think he has something to do with it. They do. But we can't go out and just be like, he did have something to do with it if it ain't no proof nowhere. There's no record of his Unless somebody, that's what I said, somebody gonna have to come out with something else. Because when you look at the statistics and you look at the proof, we talking about the proof. We ain't talking about the hearsay, what the bloggers saying, what the streets is saying. We talking about the proof when it comes to Mr. Lockhart. If I know I had nothing to do with it, just like my sister, everybody thinking I got something to do with it because I'm with her, I'm laying low too. I'm laying low too until the trial come and I have to go and get my side of the story. Why would I want to make myself accessible to still become a target if I know I did everything to save her life? But the streets is going to always condemn me. So why would I want to sit around? Look what happened with Boog. If she would have left Columbus, she would still be living. Sometimes the love we have for people will cause us to kind of not go with our first instinct when we knew we were supposed to leave. Boog, if she would have left Columbus and really went to Atlanta, I believe the people around her, it wouldn't have been no other choice but the people around her to fall back because she made herself too accessible to the people. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but when you make yourself too accessible and you in a different tax bracket and you on TV and you doing music and you with celebrities, you can't make yourself so accessible. I'm not saying turn your back on your people, but you can't be hanging with certain type of crowds. You can't be accessible to put yourself in these situations to be backdoored. Because when you too accessible, that who you think is backdooring you? The people you love. It ain't no random strangers back doing these backdoor plays on these people, on our family, on our friends, these celebrities. These plays is coming from their entourages and the people that they love. I totally believe if Boog would have left, she would have had a better chance at just life and accomplishing everything she wanted to accomplish. She was a good one. Boog was a good person. And that's why it's important that we do cover her story and keep her name alive, because what happened to her, she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve that. And whoever set this backdoor play up, it most definitely is one of these names that we talk about on this channel. Allegedly. We don't know who, we don't know why. But what we do know is that people is moving real fishy, and Mr. Kyson wasn't the only one that was involved in this. And that's why it comes to a point where, as time is going on, more information is coming out. More information. I mean, I believe this case is going to get closure in the way that we believe she could rest peacefully. Because now Mr. Kyson is in jail, so it is a lot easier on us. It make us feel good. It make us feel good that they got Kyson. But what don't make us feel good is that we still haven't heard from Mr. Lockhart. We still, it's things with the hospital we don't know. Did he stay? Did he leave? It's still things with the girlfriend that's real fishy. So I believe in due time, everything gonna come to a head. But as we know, and if we go on the proof, it don't look like Cameron had nothing to do with it. That's my opinion. I know everybody gonna have their own opinion and whatnot, but strictly off of evidence, I went to Columbus Police Department, went to the Sheriff Department. I also looked up court records, court documents. I talked to people close to Mr. Lockhart, who's dealing with him with his emotions, who have reached out to me. I'm also seeing social media sites. I'm very aware of these characters that's involved allegedly and the things that's been going on the last month or two with everybody that's involved. And when you go, you can't always go off the streets. You can't always go off of street justice, because the streets is like the blind leading the blind. A lot of this shit they just put together and lie and make theories up and run with it. We trying to get to the truth, because the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is public information. The proof is these emails coming in to people that's connected to all of these parties that's giving us this information to bring to the channel for the people, because they had love for Boog. I appreciate them emails coming in, because if them emails didn't come in, I don't believe the people of Columbus know what's going on. But I'm trying to get justice for Boog, for these female artists on the way, to keep her memory alive, just to keep her name going, so we can always keep her in spirits. Y'all go ahead and sign that petition. But like I said before, it's looking like it's only two ways. It's either about the girlfriend or it's about this drug transaction. And that's the majority is starting to look like this drug transaction, y'all. Like I said, I can't say for a fact if she was selling drugs the day of her death. I can't say all that, but what I can say is that the evidence and the investigation is kind of looking like that's what the whole reason to go on Dork Place was about. It's starting to look like that. It's either about the drug transaction went left, or was it a confrontation? Because we knew a confrontation happened. We know the attempted robbery happened. But what was it? What was the vendetta in Mr. Kyson that made him go strictly after Boog? Cameron was never the target. Boog knew something was going to go down. That's why she bought Mr. Lockhart. I don't believe Mr. Lockhart knew it was going to happen. I don't believe he knew the play was going to be ran, because Boog called him. Boog went to his house, drove the car to his house. He drove. Why? She could have drove her own car and took somebody else. You see what I'm saying? It just don't seem like it don't seem like Mr. Lockhart knew what was going on, and it don't seem like he was in on it. It seemed like the whole play was really targeted and aimed for Boog, and that's just what it looked like. Like I told y'all, this video could go all the way left or it could go all the way right, but I gotta give y'all the information that I find. I take my time with these stories. I don't just put out anything. I don't just go off of what people tell me or what they send me. I have to do my own research with these things. I have to reach out and make phone calls. I have to do research. This stuff take time to sift through these emails. I don't be wanting to just drop anything. I got too much love and too much respect for Boog to just tarnish her name or slander her name just for content. That's what I don't stand for, and that's not what's gonna happen. That's not what's gonna happen. But when we talk about backdoors, we know this is backdoor season. We know that. So why is it so hard for people to believe that the other people involved is not caught yet? We spending a lot of time on Mr. Lockhart. We spend a lot of time on Mr. Kyson. We still do have to figure out the connection between Mr. Kyson and the girlfriend. I didn't know he skipped town. Oh, thank you, Daily Tri-State. Thank you. If you in here, hit the like button. I appreciate that, y'all. Kings and queens, I appreciate that. But that's just what it seems like to me, y'all. Because why would the girl be following him on Instagram? And what was Kyson vendetta to strictly do Boog 5'1", a female, pistol whipper, shooter? Come on, man, this was personal. This was personal. That's why I'm like, in a way, if you think about this drug transaction deal, if that was the case and it went left, what was the point in doing all that? But they was like, oh, well, his gun went off by accident. I had an email earlier when this all first started a while back, about a month ago. Somebody emailed me. I did a video on it too. They was like, well, it was an accident. It was accidental. He didn't mean to kill her. It was an accident. And I'm like, well, okay, accidents do happen, but this wasn't no accident. This was a back door. Too many people was there. Think about it. Boog, Mr. Lockhart, Mr. Kyson, the other 3, 4, 5 people. Once they said it was a group of people. So it was not just Mr. Kyson and one other person. It was like 4 on 2. Altogether, it was like 6 people out there, 5 to 6 people out there around this car. So what possibly could be Mr. Kyson's motive on why he did her the way that he did her if it wasn't personal? This wasn't no accident. Accidents don't happen with attempted robbery, pistol whip, shoot a person, shoot the car 2, 3 times. This was just fucking overboard. You know what I mean? Mr. Kyson just went overboard. This shit was goddamn personal, and it was not fucking random. So y'all could get that out y'all head with this whole random shit. This was not random. They was lured there. Boog and Mr. Lockhart was lured there. They did not know they was going to be robbed and Boog was going. You think if she knew that, they would have went over there? They wouldn't have went over there if she felt some kind of a threat. But some in her wasn't comfortable enough where she went and got somebody she trusted. Because why would I go pick up Mr. Lockhart if I didn't trust him? She could have took anybody. Boog know a whole bunch of people. She knew a whole bunch of people. But she went and got her brother. Because Mr. Lockhart was allegedly like brothers. So we all know what that was because people was like, oh, they blood brothers. So I had to clear that up. No, they wasn't blood brothers. But they had a relationship like brothers and sisters, and they called each other brothers. And that's just what it was. But we can't take nothing from Mr. Lockhart behind him trying to protect her and be there for her. I mean, we could victimize him, but then we can't if you really look at the proof. That's why I said, let's not go off of the streets. Let's not go off the street persecution. You go down to the proof. She went and picked him up. He didn't even have to go. And he drove his car. So it was something about her. She didn't want to pull up in her car. She was like, well, Kim, you drive. I'm going to ride with you. She didn't want to drive it. She didn't want to drive her car. So that goes to show the level of trust with her and Mr. Cameron. Why Mr. Cameron leave? I think I would have left too. Because if not, he was going to be dead sooner or later, allegedly. Because of street justice. We all know how that is. People want to take justice in their own hands. And we still need Cameron's testimony in trial. So if he didn't leave, who knows? We probably be, talking about Cameron in the next live and his demise. And that's what we don't want because we are already losing too many of our people to gun violence and to the system. The generational curse has to stop somewhere. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this right now. And I know y'all don't. But think about it. All that, everybody like, oh, they ain't outside. Everybody want to go outside. Keep y'all goddamn asses in the house. That's why y'all rushing goddamn death so fast. Everybody trying to be tough and go outside. You ain't outside. They ain't outside. We be outside. Y'all know where I'm at outside. Y'all know how I'm coming. This whole chasing the bag mentality and this whole going outside shit. Like, quit going outside to chase fucking death. I never seen a generation of people just in a rush to die. Keep your goddamn ass in the house and take care of your family and stack some money up and get a job or something. Them streets ain't for everybody, and everybody not built for the street life. So you got a whole bunch of house people that's really trying to put on like they in the streets, but they really not street people. A lot of these people like Mr. Kyson and all them, a lot of these young dudes, they not killers. They in situations and putting on for other people and living other people's lifestyles out and turning into killers. These people is not born killers. They don't have a lot of these young kids and a lot of these murders that's going on. Half of the people that's catching these bodies don't even know how to aim. Let's be clear. Let's be all the way a buck with this shit. Half of these kids that's killing these other kids, they don't have no experience with auxiliary. They don't even know how to aim. They don't even barely know how to load properly. They just picking the gun up and bang, bang. No skills, no knowledge on how to carry the weapon. No knowledge on how to aim and hold the weapon properly. These are real basic, important tools that you need in life when you're trying to protect your family. Everybody in this whole social media area, this cyberbullying shit, chasing this bag mentality, go outside mentality, that is the problem. Learn to stay the hell at home, because when you at home, you stay out of trouble. Go to work, take care of your family, take care of your kids, because the only people that's hurting at the end of these tragedies is these mothers and these fathers and these kids that's left with no parents. These parents is outliving a lot of these kids, and that's the part to me that is detrimental to our society. Our parents is outliving the parents is outliving the kids. When it's supposed to be backward, it's supposed to be the other way. But everybody got this mindset and they just rushing death. And everybody in a rush to go outside and prove they so tough. They about their life and about that life. And you think about it, is it worth it? Is it really worth it for the clout? I don't know if people trying to go viral. Is this clout shit? Everybody want to be tough. Look what's going on to the people we love. It's backdoor season. Keep y'all ass in the house and keep them goddamn doors locked. Watch them people you sitting around, because we all have too much talent and too much creativity to let our wicks die out. And as time is going on in 2021, I'm tired of our people, especially our youth, letting their wicks die out with creativity. People, depression is kicking into the mindset out of boredom. Too many of us is letting our minds get bored because we spending too much time on these damn phones and these goddamn internet. We have to learn to get back into our creative bag, because the more you become creative and keep your mind occupied, the less you gonna want to go outside. Them streets ain't for everybody. That jail cell ain't built for nobody. That jail cell is a lonely road. That's a lonely road. And I tell these people all the time, like, look at Mr. Kyson, for instance. Mr. Kyson got the money, stole the money from Boog, called a relative and told his relative to get the money. They didn't even plan the whole escape plan out. They didn't know how this shit, it was sloppy from the beginning. He didn't have an exit plan. Whoever the other people who was involved, I believe it's just a matter of time before they come to the forefront. Mr. Kyson had a personal vendetta, and he looked like a ticking time bomb mentally. The boy looked like he mentally missing some screws. Will he end up rolling over on the people who was there with him, or is evidence gonna bring them people to the forefront? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? But as time go on, it's starting to look like Mr. Lockhart didn't have nothing to do with it, though. It does. It really does. Why he leave town, I would have left too. I believe Boog should have left Columbus as well. Like we talk about all the time, it's something about Ohio artists and the talent that come out of Ohio seem like they demise either come right when they at the peak of their career. Either they end up dying, or they end up going to jail for murder or life or something. Are some of these artists getting sacrificed to put other people in bigger positions? Is this all a money play? Is this backdoor, is people paying these people to do these backdoor plays? Or is it just jealousy and envy, and they want what you got and they coming for it? Is it that season? Because I really don't see how everybody could be so goddamn thirsty with all this pandemic money going around. Think about it. The last 2 years, people has been in some good financial situations. I done seen a lot of people go from nothing to something. You hear me? And in a matter of weeks, messing with this pandemic. I done seen some people get up, and I done seen a lot of people lose it. You know what I'm saying? What is the reason why Mr. Kyson had this personal vendetta with Boog? Could it possibly be about the girlfriend? Could it possibly be jealousy and envy? Do y'all really think it was about the drugs? Or do you think it was a play to rob her? To me, from what I found the research, the play been in motion for about a week and a half before she passed. This wasn't planned a month before her death. It wasn't a few days before her death. Nah, this play was set up a week and a half to 2 weeks before her demise. It's been a lot of stuff going on with these Miami trips, the subliminals on social media before her death, through people, the Mother's Day post she did with her story, with the creepy dudes in the car. You know, I don't know if they creepy or not, but it just looked creepy from what I'm hearing. It's a lot of different evidence and things that's coming to the forefront as time is going on. And it's going to take for us to pretty much just sit back and see where this thing go, where it leads to. Y'all know every time I get some information, I'm going to drop it. But I just can't understand the connection between her following him on Instagram. If they not family, like if they not, and then think about it. If they was family, right? Would you be able to follow your family knowing they murdered the person you love? Cause that's a difficult one. That's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, could you follow your lover's killer if they was family on social media? What is the connection? Did the girlfriend did MJ know Mr. Kyson's sister? And that's how she know Mr. Kyson? Was her and Mr. Kyson in an entanglement? Because his interaction with Boog on the day of her demise, to me, it was overboard. It was too overboard for it to be an accident. It was too overboard for it to be it was just too overboard for me to just think like, oh well, it was an accident, the gun went off, he ain't mean it. Accidents do happen, but that wouldn't explain the assault on her and Cameron, and to shoot at the car multiple times after it pulled off. And then what is the whole point of surrounding the car with the group if it's just her and Cameron? What was the point of them surrounding the car if it wasn't a play? If they was lured back there and it was all a play. But my thing is, what made him feel comfortable to do it on a block where his family members live? You know what I mean? Like, you don't commit. Everybody know you don't do dirt at home. You're not supposed to sell out your house. You're not supposed to, you don't do trouble at home. So it's like, what happened? Only people who got the puzzle, only people who got the pieces to this story is Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Kyson. The other people that was involved, we don't know. Could it have been studs and dudes mixed? 3 to 5 people in the group. Nobody stopped it. That's why I feel like the people who also surrounded the car, they should also be charged with the murder as well as Mr. Kyson, because it don't seem like they was there to break it up, because they was like a group of armed, they said a group of armed men surrounded the car. So what do y'all think, man? Y'all go ahead and comment in chat, and let's talk about it. What y'all think? Do y'all possibly think? I mean, because a lot of people still feel like, okay, well, what was Cameron involved in? Did he have something to do with it and all that? From the information and the research that I found, it don't seem like it, because she picked him up. She drove her car to his house. If I had something to do with it, why would I drive, first of all, and drive my own car if I had something to do with it, and then take you to the hospital and try to save your life? It don't seem like Cameron had nothing to do with it. It just don't. As time go on and the proof is out there, it don't seem like it. But a lot of the energy is going towards MJ a little bit. Like, we don't know about this goddamn chain and his actions and the Miami disappearance. Cameron told my auntie. Comment one more time, baby. I'm sorry I missed it. Cameron told my aunt carried Courtney inside the hospital. We walked to the nurse. She said that's not true. Cameron pulled up and pushed Courtney. So he carried her. So you saying Mr. Lockhart carried Boog inside the hospital? Please tell me that's what you're saying. Because I got to go back on that. I bought a scenario like that up before. Cameron pulled up and pushed Courtney out the car onto the nurses. And y'all saying she should. That's what I'm saying. So was your auntie a nurse? And she told you that? Like, how did she know? That's what I'm saying. See, because we didn't know. See, this is what I'm saying. We didn't know if Cameron stayed at the hospital or he left her in the beginning. Because it was like, okay, well, how could you leave somebody that you love? But we never had proof if he stayed or if he went. And some people was like, well, you don't know, maybe he had warrants. Because, y'all light me up. I respect y'all for that. Y'all know I don't mind if y'all check me and get me together, but just watch how you get me together. You know what I mean? But y'all told me, like, Wait a minute, just because he left, that don't mean he didn't love her. Maybe he had warrants or maybe he had drugs he wanted to get rid of. No, the nurse at the hospital got in contact with us and she kept telling us he pushed her out the car into the fact. I could see that. Because when I tell y'all, I looked at the evidence, from the evidence and the research I found. We know the drive from Dork Place to East Carmel Hospital is at least between 10 and 14 minutes, right? So the bullet wounds to the chest, Boog was 5'1". We know her weight. She was small, 100, 105, 110 pounds, small. 10 to 14 minute ride in the hospital, and Cameron was still able to get her there, carry her inside the hospital. He had to run every stop sign and every light to save her life. If you look at the actions and the proof, it ain't no way he didn't try to save her. If he did it, he didn't even have to take her to the hospital. He could have ran off like, oh, they let me run off. He didn't have to get in the car and really get in the car and take her. After that, think about it. If you was in Cameron's shoes, right? He was traumatized. Think about the whole scenario from being surrounded by the car, pistol whipped, assaulted, masked men, doing this to your sister, assaulting her. His back was against the wall. And then be like, okay, they shot her. And then he in shock, like, oh my, like shit, he shot her. So that's a whole nother trauma he going through after that. And then to go and try to save her and she passes away. Y'all don't think Cameron feel like that blood is on his hands and what he's dealing through and what he's dealing with mentally behind this. He did everything he could to save her life. But it seems like it's his fault on why she did. And think about how the streets is persecuting him too. You was with her so far. If she wasn't with you, if you wasn't with you, he ain't had no choice but to leave town. The way this incident went, and he took her to the hospital, I said something ain't right. He had to take her in there because they kept saying she walked into the hospital. And I'm like, man, listen, we know the whole walking to the hospital shit is out the window. That's a whole fucking lie somebody put out there. She never walked to the hospital. And it was hard for me to believe that she walked into the hospital. But still, why hide her car and lie, say that it's his house when he know he put it in? He hit her car? Wait a minute. Why would he hide her car? And when her car parked at his house, see somebody close to the source. Right, now that's fishy. See, I didn't get that information. See, that's why I love when y'all comment because, right, why hide the car? Like, what was that all about? If you saving her life, she drove to your car. The car is evidence, obviously. What would be the point? Her first cousin, I'm telling you, if you want to know, I could tell you. Winter PX, you got to email me that. pipelinenews2020@gmail. Because I need that information. I do. Because that's going to take it in another direction. But here's my thing. So they was like, because from the reports, now, like I said, I do a lot of public information off of the news, the news report, the newspapers, sheriff department, police reports. I get 60% of my information off of public information. The other 40 coming off of people from Columbus. So, and other people too, because Boog got people that reached out to me, like I said, from New York, Las Vegas, Atlanta. It been people who emailed me about her and they timing with her and how they knew her and stuff like that from a lot of parts of the world besides Columbus. But that's where the other 40% of my information come from. So here's the thing. They like, oh, well, she walked into the hospital after Cameron dropped her off. I said, the body should already been into a certain shock. Your body goes into a certain shock, right? Like if you notice when somebody gets shot, either blood start coming out their mouth, they can't talk, they gasp for air, you're not supposed to move them, all that. So my thing is that whole ride in the car to the hospital, her body had to be in some kind of shock or trauma. Who gets shot in the chest more than one time or 2 times and can walk themselves into the hospital. I always found that strange. Courtney was shot in the head. She was already dead in the basketball, right? Huh? She got shot in the head. I ain't never seen that evidence. I ain't never seen that. Only gunshots I seen proof of was in the chest. She was shot in the head. So how many times she was shot? 2 or 3, y'all? Because I'm reading different reports. I heard 2. That's why I said I need to see that autopsy report or the medical examiner report, because some people saying 1 time, 3 times to the chest, 2 times. But all her injuries I heard was in the chest. So Mr. Kyson blew her noodles out. You know what? Is that why the other girl told me in my other live, she said she was DOA, dead on arrival. She died before she got to the hospital. But all the reports, like I told y'all, all the reports is saying she passed minutes later after entering the hospital. Minutes later. Because if she got shot in the head, she had to pass on door place, allegedly, if she was shot in the head, allegedly. Who survived a gunshot wound to the head and 10-minute car ride to the hospital? That's but somebody did tell me in my other live that I did the last time that she was DOA, dead on arrival. That's why it's important that I try to find this medical examiner report so we could be clear. So we could be clear, because and here's another thing. Why they not release it to us what gun was used in her tragedy? They never told us if it was a 9, a 25, or 38. I'm like, why is they hiding that part of the evidence? You can see it by her temple, did her hair when she was. You did her hair when she passed? For the funeral, you did her hair? That's sad thinking about it, y'all. Like, every time I think about it, y'all, it really get to me, like this situation with Boog, because she didn't deserve that. And I'm still a Boog the Bandit fan, and still was. Like, when people didn't know who she was, I was playing her music. People didn't know who she was. Every time I would play her music, they'd be like, who is that? I'm like, that's Boog the Bandit. You ain't never heard of Boog from Columbus? Like, a lot of people, they didn't know Trippie Redd, Boog. It just depends on what kind of music you into. But with her not being mainstream, I fixed her hair because she was transported to the plane with Wanda from South Carolina. That's what. Oh, baby, I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry about your loss. Condolences to you and your family. And so how many times, if you could let us know, how many times was she shot? What was it? Once in the head and once in the chest? Because, I mean, this is sad. See, that's why I'm saying Mr. Kyson had to have some kind of personal vendetta with Boog, because this was an overkill. This was, like I tell y'all, it was too sloppy. It wasn't well planned, because obviously we could tell, because he used her cell phone to call a family member to drop her money off to the family. Like, it was an overkill, it was an accidental, and it was just, it was just senseless. So my thing is, what was in Mr. Kyson's thoughts that made him, or what happened a week or 2 weeks prior to Boog's demise that made Mr. Kyson start setting up this backdoor play on Boog? Did she cut him off behind being weird? Or was he messing with her girl, or trying to get at her girl, or what was going on? What was the relationship like with Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Kyson? How long have they been knowing each other, and have they ever been friends? How did Mr. Kyson get into this loop with them? I'm not sure. The nurse at the hospital that got Courtney out the car said it was too much blood. Nah. Run that back one more time. Run that back. I really wanted to know that, and thank you for that information, because that have always bothered me, to be like, how could he just leave her? If she was shot like that, but she was for sure shot in the head, that's a fact, and she was also shot in the chest as well. Thank you, Winter PX. So we looking at 2 shots. The head shot and the chest shot. I mean, you know what? It's just, this is so disgusting on so many levels with these dudes that was there. Like, she was the only female. Now, here's the thing. Where did this story come from with the studs dressed like dudes? Did Mr. Kyson hang with studs? Because a few people said, like, okay, well, Boog was going to go do hair. A lot of Mr. Kyson friends have dreads. But I'm like, okay, we could see that. But then what would be the altercation on why? Like, what went left in the confrontation? Where, like, was Boog cool? That's what I'm saying. It seems like all of them was friends at once upon a time. I don't know if they recently had just fell out. And who is them dudes that was in her story in the back seat on Mother's Day a week before she passed? Was they all in on it? The other people that surrounded that car. Because when you really look at it from different angles, they like, we know she told Miss Wanda she was going to do hair. But from the emails that I'm getting, they saying allegedly that was a play to go do the drug transaction because she didn't want Miss Wanda to know she was selling her, doing her thing on the side. That allegedly, this is what a couple emails are saying about the drug transaction. They keep saying Boog, sold drugs. And we ain't knocking nobody and what they do. We all, have the hustle and know what it takes. You have to survive by it. We don't knock no hustle over here. We don't judge nobody for, doing what they do to make their ends meet to survive. We live in our truth over here. So we're not being judgmental on that. But we also know the consequences that could come, behind that lifestyle, and the decisions you make when you live in that lifestyle could be, detrimental. It could be very detrimental if you're not moving the right way and, doing what you got to do and get about that game and, get back on track. But allegedly, I'm hearing the hair thing was strictly just something just to get out the way. I honestly feel like Cameron set her up to get robbed, but killing her wasn't a part of the plan. I have a few people in my email saying that too. We have a lot of people saying that. That's why it's like, in the beginning, when I started covering this story, when I first picked this story up, a person couldn't tell me that Mr. Lockhart wasn't in on it. You just couldn't. But that was before the killer was caught and all the other evidence came out, right? Because it wasn't making sense. I'm like, who is this dude she was with? They wasn't brothers, and he just left her at the hospital, and how did it, like this and that? It was a lot of questions that I felt like I needed answers to. And the more I started researching and doing information and talking to people on both sides. Now, let me tell y'all, it got to a point when I started covering this story, a lot of Boog people was reaching out to me. And then about in the middle of me reporting on this story, I had a lot of people reaching out to me on Mr. Lockhart's behalf. Not all of them had his best interest. I'm going to be honest, not all of them. It was a few who was like he had something to do with it, allegedly. And then there's a lot. There's a big portion of people like, Cam he ain't cut like that. He loyal. He really loved her. He not taking it good. So it's still to a point where us as the people, I don't feel like I have the power to just be like, yeah, he has something to do with it, this and that and other. But what I can say is, off of the proof and the research that I found, somebody around her set the backdoor play. And when you look at the whole incident and him taking her to the hospital and, really trying to get her help and save her, it don't seem like his actions is the actions of a person who has something to do with it. Because why take her to the hospital? He didn't have to do that. But then somebody just said, well, he hid her car. He moved her car and hid it. That's some new information. I got to find out. I got to do some research on that part because somebody else in my last live was like, he telling too many different stories. So that's what made me be like, well, Mr. Lockhart, if he out of town and he not in Columbus no more, he might as well come and do an interview with me on the pipeline and hide his face. I mean, he ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? There's ways he could tell his story without being recognized or me leaking his information. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he talking already, he might as well come over here and give his side of the story and give us more detailed and in depth so we can make our own assumption on what happened. Yep, that's what they saying, Winter PX. Winter PX saying he telling too many different stories. I got a few people in my live saying that. Every live I do, they keep saying he keep changing his story. So that's why I'm like, who is he talking to? Did he make an appearance on social media? Because I haven't seen him. Is he on TikTok or something? Like, who is he telling his stories to that everybody know he's changing the stories? Because as far as what I seen, it's like he just went MIA or something. People just telling me like he not taking it good. People around him. What's now being said is Kyson really isn't the shooter. He is the cover for a person, really. Man, guess what? That wouldn't surprise me either. It wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Kyson wasn't the shooter. It don't. It wouldn't surprise me because of, you know why? Because of the group of people that was surrounding that car. It's other people involved in this that we totally just ain't even brought up yet. We don't even know. And then we know is Mr. Kyson, Mr. Lockhart, and how the girlfriend acting over the chain and got kicked out the funeral and the IG shit. That's really about it. We haven't spent no time about the other people that's involved. Who knows? This story could go even deeper. Y'all see what I'm saying? I believe we just breaking through a layer of it right now because we already knew where we was at in the beginning and how far we came now. And I know he changing his story because he has been calling the house phone, talking to Wanda for, oh yeah. Oh yeah. He calling the house phone, talking to Miss Wanda. So he changing the story up. That's where people getting that from. Do y'all think he could be changing the story up out of fear? Or do y'all think the trauma? Because, you know, sometimes, honestly, listen, y'all, honestly, sometimes they say when you have traumatic experiences in your life, sometimes you black in and black out. Like the pieces, I guess it takes time for the pieces to come together. They say you like get pieces of the story. And then as time go on, it all start coming together. It's like, depending on how traumatic it was. Like if you ever been through a traumatic experience in your childhood, some people remember it like clear as day. And then you got some people that just remember pieces of it. And even though it didn't happen that long ago, but y'all got to think about it, man, a lot of these kids on all these drugs and Molly and their memories is just shot, deep fried. Deep fried. A lot of people can't even remember what they ate 3 days ago, let alone months ago. So, but that's crazy though. But people keep saying that, like, yeah, he keep changing the story, and I don't know. But we gonna, I don't really know, but it's leaning like in a way, it's looking like he really tried to save her life, y'all. But like I said, it's a lot of things that I don't got all the answers to. Like they just said, the car, he moved her car and put it somewhere else. We do know now he did carry her inside the hospital because I'm like, how's she gonna walk inside the hospital after getting shot like that? I mean, I always felt that was weird. That's what made me think, something with him ain't adding up right, because if you love somebody like that, how could you just leave them? So I'm glad you came and dropped that information for it. I'm glad you dropped the information for us. But then it's still a lot of stuff, y'all, to me that just don't make sense. I'm with y'all on that. It's still questions to me with all the characters that I feel like we haven't digested. It's not to a point where I feel like she got justice. It's just justice to a certain degree because one killer is captured. One killer is captured. So it's like, okay, we could woo-saw a little bit, but I don't feel like she could really, truly rest peacefully until the whole puzzle is complete. Because whoever the other people was who surrounded that car, they most definitely know what's going on. And we don't know if did Mr. Kyson pay them, or did they have a problem with Boog, or what happened. But whatever happened, Boog wasn't going. Boog wasn't going. She wasn't going. She was not about to let them rob her. From the reports and everything that I read that's public information, it wasn't going like that. She just wasn't about to let them just take her. She wasn't about to just let them take her stuff from her. It just wasn't going like that. And I believe that what the confrontation could have possibly been about. Taking a long time. She's like, man, I'm not about to give y'all nothing. They was lames to her. Probably she probably like, y'all weak as y'all some lames. Like, y'all not about to just take my shit. Like, boom, they already had camera hemmed up, assaulted him, robbed him. They took the fanny pack, took the phone. So if they didn't take the chain, could the girlfriend possibly could have had them? I don't see. Because why take everything else and don't take the chains? You know what I'm saying? When I really, like, nurse said she was just sitting there. The police asked her how she gone. The police asked her how she got here, and the nurse pointed him out to the police. Her chains was at too, and Courtney didn't never have her chains on her. So the girlfriend had the chains. Cause from what I'm hearing, because I always heard from the beginning that Miss Wanda had the chains. So that's how we knew they didn't get the chains. That's how from day one, that was already out there. Like, she didn't have no chains. Miss Wanda had the chain. They didn't get the chains. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, if they didn't get the chains, would they get a couple dollars and some and the phone? Because that's what I'm saying. If you really look at the items that was taken, this had to be personal. Y'all did all that for that little bitty ass shit. Come on, man. That little bitty ass shit. This was personal. It was personal. We don't know if Mr. Kyson had a vendetta or the people he was with had a vendetta. MJ sent Courtney, best friend, photograph to the house to steal it. Nah. I'm blue. Y'all, I'm blue. With the information I found this week, and I found out, that's what took me so long to drop a video on her, y'all, because it was so many emails. I had to sift through the lies. I had to sift through this and sift through that. And Mr. Lockhart people, then the girlfriend people is at me. And it was so much I had to sift through. And then now tonight on this live, I got some more information that we most definitely have to find out, because this right here is very fishy now. It is real fishy. So let me ask y'all, do y'all believe she was, okay, I'm gonna ask y'all, who y'all believe the back door was set by? Her chain was in Louis Vuitton. I mean, who do y'all think the back door was set? Because whoever it was left the back door unlocked, that's for sure. But here's the thing. If Mr. Lockhart left the door unlocked, why drive the vehicle and drive his own vehicle? Why not drive her vehicle? If I got something to do with it, I wouldn't drive my own car. I mean, that's just being in a criminal mindset. Like, who drives their own car to a robbery or a murder? I mean, I know people do it though, but in the time we live in, people is fucking retarded. But people who has common sense, like, why would I drive my own car to the scene of a robbery and I know I'm with her and I know I'm gonna be the main target and suspect? Why would I don't, y'all see what I'm going with it in a way? Do y'all see what I'm saying? Because they was like, okay, well, it was an accident. It was an accident. Mr. Kyson didn't mean to kill her when they attempted to rob her because, like we said, it was a popular thief. They was saying, okay, so when I first started covering her story, they kept saying it was a popular thief in the neighborhood that day. Her chain was in the Louis Vuitton behind her, and she was there. Name on the room right left. It was gone. What is it about this damn chain? Like, y'all, I seen the chain. I love the chain. I think the chain is dope. It really is. It's a nice chain. It's a very nice chain. But if I was the girlfriend, I would want the mother to keep the chain. Like, I wouldn't. I would rather for her mom to keep the chain as memorabilia. I wouldn't want to keep the chain as the girlfriend. I mean, I don't know. I would just feel like I already have pieces in my own of my loved one. I think that's something like, in my opinion, I think Cameron set that back door and everything else. A lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like Cameron set the back door. So what was the relationship with Cameron and Mr. Kyson? Did they know each other? Did Mr. Cameron and Mr. Kyson hang with each other? Because they not following each other on social media. Not that I found. Unless they following each other on backup pages. But I ain't see them following each other. They don't look like they ever followed each other. But I can't say. But you don't see them like. They not following each other. But the girlfriend allegedly is following Mr. Kyson. So Mr. Cameron, if y'all feel like Mr. Cameron unlocked the back door, what connection would he have? What is the connection between him and the other people involved? So we wanted that chain to be buried with. Right. That's what I'm saying. Why is MJ being so goddamn petty over this damn chain? She thought a small gold chain to the funeral home instead. Like, how much did they pay for this? Because this is my thing. Was she there for the money, the clout, or the fame? Because she talking about, I'm clout chasing. Girl, listen, y'all already know. That's a different ball game, but I'm not even about to open up that door with her ass again. Like, I ain't got time for that girl. But listen, how much was this chain? Because it seemed like, was she there for love or was she there for the fame? Because this her actions and how she moving ain't making sense. And then they like, well, she dating already. I mean, we can't say if the girl can't date or not. But if I'm so in love, and my girl just got killed, and I'm following her, killing her on Instagram, and then I'm dating somebody else allegedly a month after her killer was arrested. Like, it don't show her actions, don't show the movement of a person who's grieving over somebody that they love. Now, we can't say like she didn't have no feelings for Boog and all that. It's obviously something was there, but was it love? Was it love? And only people really know that is her and the people who was around them who could really vouch and say that. I'm just strictly going off of the actions and emails, because a lot of people keep bringing the girlfriend to my attention since day one. I just really started doing my research on the girl, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. I never really thought to consider the girlfriend in the back door play or whatever the mishap may be with the girlfriend. But a lot of people kept saying it's about the girl allegedly. And then I told you I keep having this drug transaction story, a drug. They was like, yeah, Boog did sell drugs. And then I talked to people who like, she didn't sell no drugs. You got it wrong. She didn't say. I said, listen, this is what people were saying. So I don't have no proof if she did or didn't sell drugs, because it's a lot of people who said she did sell drugs and her mother and family didn't know. She was still hustling. So I don't know. And this is allegedly. This is allegedly, because I don't know if this stuff is facts like I said, but it is people close to Mr. Lockhart who has reached out to me and communicated with me, who's in Cameron's defense, and I also have people who's in Boog's defense. And nobody is writing for Mr. Kyson. Nobody. Not nan one of his families. Nobody reached out to me. Even MJ reached out for me. She disrespectful as hell, but she said her little shit. She claimed she wanted the chain to have something to remind her by her best friend came to the house with Courtney giving to her. But that's what I'm saying, though. That's what. So was this before the funeral? And then that's why she got kicked out behind that incident right there before the funeral? Because, like, that's crazy you get kicked out the funeral. Why he was kicked out as well. And MJ has the bloody chain still. We only have the dub. And yes, this is before the funeral. That is crazy. Who was kicked out the funeral as well? Cameron came to the funeral? Who was kicked out the funeral as well? Cause y'all know what I was wondering? I've been wondering this for a long time. I was wondering if the people who was with Mr. Kyson showed up at the funeral. Cause wouldn't that be some old, excuse my language, that would be some fucked up shit, right? But we all know when people do them backdoor plays, they be right at the family functions with the family, kissing your mama, holding your kids, telling your family, I'ma hold the kids down for them. All that fake ass, don't worry about it, I got them. Nah, you ain't got shit. The best friend? Who best friend? MJ best friend got kicked out too? Or are you talking about Mr. Lockhart best friend? Because Mr. Lockhart baby mom, she's cool. I guess she ain't got nothing to do with it, the baby mom. That's why I didn't really talk about her that much. Only connection that she has is that Boog and Cam met through the baby mama. Courtney's best friend, supposedly, his name is Khalid, but he also is her photographer. That's funny because, you know what? I reached out to him. I reached out to her photographer, and I tried to do an interview with I'm trying to get, because y'all know I interviewed Daily Tri-State. Shout out to him too. He worked with her. I tried to reach out to her manager and also her photographer for an interview. The photographer never got back with me. That like somebody else gave me his information. This is the second time his name came up, the photographer, but I reached out to him again. I told him who I was. I see, because on his Facebook, his photographer, you see over the years all the work he's done with Boog, and he really cared for her. So I was actually gonna pay him to come on the channel to do an interview. So actually tomorrow I'm gonna follow up on that. He didn't reach back out to me. I don't know if he just wanted to stay quiet or whatever. And maybe he did get back and I just haven't checked my messages. But I'm going to check them and I'm going to follow up on that. And I also reached out to not her current manager, her old manager. So I'm trying to follow up on that too. Me and Daily Tri-State, we were supposed to have did the interview in New York. But things happened. He had a death in his family, Daily Tri-State. But we still gonna get them interviews coming, y'all, because I've been digging real deep into a lot of the noise that's in the background. A lot of the people in the background that's close to the story. I've been trying to get close to them so I could get a bigger insight on what they heard or their relationship with Boog and how much they love Courtney and stuff like that. So when the smoke and mirrors clear, I already got word that Mr. Lockhart is aware of my videos. I don't know if he's watching the channel or whatever. I think he's watching every video I do. I honestly do. Because the people who is coming back telling me stuff on his end is like they with him directly. So I think he's sending messages through them. That's what I think. And I've been thinking that for like 2 weeks. Because the stuff that they saying is like the stuff they coming back telling me on Mr. Lockhart end. It was like 1 minute they was against him, and then the next minute they started like it wasn't like that and this and that and the other. So I'm like, and then they started shooting little information. So I'm like, I wonder if Mr. Lockhart trying to get his people to change the narrative on me, or is they really delaying the messages from him to me? Because it's just too many people all of a sudden like, oh, Cameron, he going through it now and he He ain't had nothing to do with it. He loved her. And like, I know him. Like, I know him. I'm with him. This is how the emails is coming in. So I'm like, so I shoot the email. I said, well, tell him, like I told the dude, tell him, don't look, you don't email me no more. Tell him to email me. If he don't want to use his own email, he can email me through you. And he was like, all right, well, I'm going to see, but I'm just saying right now, he ain't really trying to talk. He going through it. He not taking it so well. And I told him, I'm like, well, we sorry for his loss and everything. We understand, his situation, but it would be nice if he could clear his name. And that's all I'm worried about is him giving his side of the story. Because if you don't have nothing to do with it and you talking to other people and you scared your life is in danger and you ain't do nothing, what's wrong with going public and giving your truth? Like, I didn't have nothing to do with it. That was my sister. You come over here, do the interview, we're going to tell through your emotion if it's sincere or if you on some bullshit. I mean, we just going to call it like it is. But if he come over here, we going to handle him with respect. We not going to disrespect him or make him feel bad or nothing, because if he didn't have nothing to do with it, we also have to show support to him as well if he didn't. But my thing is, if you changing the story up and talking to different people, what's going to be the difference with coming over here telling your truth and what happened? So we can get a visual of the last minutes of her living. We don't know that part. Only people who know that is Mr. Lockhart and the people who was there. We don't know the full story and how them last minutes went. We don't know exactly how many people surrounded that car. We don't know why they went on Dork Place. Only people who can answer that question is Mr. Cameron, Mr. Kyson, and the people that was involved. We don't know what he told Miss Wanda. You know what I mean? Because he changing the stories, and then they said allegedly he moved her car. Did the police move the car for evidence out the driveway, or did he leave the hospital and go get the car and take it to Miss Wanda? Like, see, it's still stuff we don't know. But I think in due time, we will find out. I believe we're going to get more information. I'm constantly reaching out to people. The best friend and photographer that MJ sent in the house. Oh, Courtney best friend name is... You know what? I talked to right, because he a dude, right? Khalib is a dude. I shared this video of him and her dancing on my page. On my YouTube channel, I had shared the video or whatever. Because I talked to so many people. And Khalib, he is a very genuine person. Now, that's not the photographer name, is it? That is her friend. I spoke with him, and he gave me some good information. And shout out to him, too. He a good person. Yeah, Khalib. I talked to him. We talked via messaging. But he told me, like, whenever I need any information, if I want to talk about anything, I can always reach out to him. And I told him too, continue to watch the channel. If you want to bring some information, you can. But he's a good dude. Boog has some good people around her, and she also has some snakes around her. And I believe the people who really loved her, I believe they always warned her about the people she was hanging with, because it just seems like a lot of people who communicate on my channel, it seemed like the people from Columbus who really loved her, and her death hit them hard. It seemed like everybody keeps saying about the group she was hanging with, they was real sketchy. They kept telling her, like, be careful. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know she was going to pass or nothing. Just out of good nature, they said they would always tell her, like, hey, be careful, watch them people you with, stuff like that, and would give her the heads up. So we don't know where the back door came, but we do most definitely know it came from somebody she knew. It came from somebody that she knew. That is a fact. It's a lot of facts that I believe we got to the bottom of with this case, and it was paid for. The toy is still not known by who on. Yeah, that's fishy, right? I think that is so fishy. Now, I could tell, like, okay, say for instance, if the police The police came, like, okay, say for instance, okay, Cameron at the hospital with her, so we know that it ain't no more allegedly, it ain't no more rumor. It is a fact that Cameron was at the hospital with her. It was a fact. He walked her in there. This is a fact. So all the stuff we thinking like, oh, he just left her and pulled off, he never came back, we could throw that out the window now. The proof, see, that's what I'm saying. There's more time is going on, proof is coming. But here's the thing. If the police, if the nurse pointed at Cameron and was like, she came in here with him, right? So that's another thing, y'all. Why would he stay if he had something to do with it? Why would he stay? So the police pointed Cameron out. I mean, the nurse pointed him out like, well, she came in with him. Do y'all think the police went and moved the car for investigation? Or do y'all think he just told them like, we rode together on Dork Place and it all happened? Do y'all think he withheld that information that the car was at his house? Because at some point, the police had to know that her car was left at his house. If she drove her car to his house and they jumped in Cameron's car and went on Dork Place, how long was it after did the car sit in the driveway? Did he leave, go straight home and move her car that day? Did the police come and tow it? Did they search through the car for for evidence? Cause that's what I'm saying. How is he able to move the car that fast, allegedly? From what y'all saying. I'm not saying it can't happen, because sometimes y'all be like, when you act like somebody charged me up a few weeks ago, was like, when you act like it wasn't like that. I'm like, nah, I didn't act like that. I'm just saying. So if Miss Wanda has the W Panda and MJ has the Boog chain, I think MJ need to march his ass to Miss Wanda. Right. I'm with you on that. Because why is everybody so, to me, my personal opinion, I feel like Miss Wanda need to have the chain and the pendant. That's her baby, that's her daughter. Why wouldn't you want to give her mother the chains and the pendant? It just don't make sense. Just like, oh, I got Boog the Bandit pendant. We know it's memorabilia. We not just gonna act like MJ ain't entitled to it. We not gonna just throw her under the bus like that. But I'm saying, why is you being so extra over this shit when it's just material thing? This is material shit. Your love for her is, why would you not want to give her mother the goddamn independence? What could possibly happen? I don't know. We'll never know why people do certain things. It's just, I just can't see why somebody could be kind of selfish in a way like that. That seems just like real selfish. I wonder how, So do y'all think, okay, and I'm going to just base this is just a question. Y'all give me your opinion on this. Do y'all think MJ and Mr. Kyson is family? Cause looking at MJ, it don't seem like she'll mess with no dude like Mr. Kyson. But you be surprised what people attracted to though. But was MJ lesbian or was she bi? Because a lot of these girls, no disrespect, a lot of these girls be lesbians, but they still be getting piped down on the side on the low. She won't give it back. For instance, the young lady I covered, rest in peace to Alicia Morrell, and justice for Alicia Morrell. If y'all know that story I covered on Alicia Morrell, she was tragically gunned down in Atlanta. She was an up-and-coming female rapper. She was a stud, fly stud, had her bag up, everything, right? Alicia was tragically murdered in Atlanta, loading up her U-Haul truck at 4 o'clock in the morning. She was shot multiple times. Alicia Morrell had 5 kids. and was a stud. So when I say, and this ain't no disrespect to the LGBT or nobody who lived that kind of life, but my thing is, a lot of these women either was bi and still bi, or they say that they lesbians and they still is getting piped down. I mean, it's still, these dudes is having babies by these studs. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm not gonna be disrespectful with it, but it is a fact. I know many of studs that have kids, and I knew a stud. She got murdered too. Her name was Melissa, y'all. Melissa died about 8 years ago. She was a stud. Used to come over my house every day asking for shit, getting on my nerves, love her to death, right? But she was a stud, and she was raped, and she got pregnant, and she was on drugs, and y'all ain't gonna believe 5 years ago, Melissa, I would say about 5 to 7 years ago, Melissa was killed by the police, and they shot her 72 times. Melissa, a stud. She had just had her baby. I watched it on the news. I couldn't believe it was her. She was killed by the police, high-speed chase on drugs. They shot the car up over 100-something times. 2 districts came together to chase her in this car. She didn't have no drugs on her, nothing. The car backfired. She was coming from downtown. She was high. The car backfired in front of the county jail center. They thought it was a shootout, proceeded to chase her. She was scared off the drugs, jumped on the highway, took them on the high-speed freeway, a high-speed chase. They shot the car over 100-something times. It was over 50 to 100 police involved in this chase. They shot her 72 times, shot the car up 100 and something times. Melissa was only in her 30s when she passed away. Rest in peace to Melissa. But these are the stories that I cover about these African American women whose lives get taken from them behind mistaken identity, back doors, organ harvesting, or sex trafficking. I feel like it's very important to cover these kind of stories within our community because a lot of this stuff seems to go unnoticed and people not talking about it enough with our African women, our African American women. No disrespect to no other race, because this goes on in every race. But I'm strictly speaking about our African American women that's constantly getting backdoored and getting killed behind mistaken identity. You find them and their organs is missing. Their ovaries is coming out their bodies. How is our women being sex trafficked and just disappearing in thin air? And nobody seems to notice nothing or see nothing. People is leaving these back doors unlocked. So it's my job to bring y'all these stories with these hot topics. Rest in peace, Boog, with these hot topics. So we can keep our eyes open as women of all races and all ages. Even with these men. Look at Boog. She was backdoored by all men. Men. We don't know if the studs was involved. We don't know that. But we do know she was the only woman. As of right now. We don't know if it's studs. Alicia Morrell, tragically gunned down 6 times. Shot 6 times. Mother of 5. 4 o'clock in the morning, loading her U-Haul. I believe somebody was after Alicia Morrell and she almost made it out. I believe she was backdoored too. That's just my opinion. But justice for her. And y'all, I'm going to let y'all go. Email me, pipelinenews2020@gmail.com. pipelinenews2020@gmail.com. Any information y'all want me to follow up on, I'm not going to put a day out there yet on when I'm coming back, but I try to come back at least every couple days because with the Boog story, I get a lot of information at once and it is bigger to me than just rushing it to give y'all some good content. When I talk about Boog, I want to talk about the facts, and we got to get to the bottom of the truth. And I can't rush it. I don't like to rush my stories that mean a lot to me. Now, if I'm talking about politics or shit like the stuff with Lil Nas X or whatever's going on, I give y'all just quick content on that. But stories that I really want to make an impact on, I have to take my time, and I try to give it to y'all in the best way where we could cover it from all sides of the spectrum. I can't go one-sided just because of the streets or the internet may feel it was this kind of way. We got to go with the proof, and we got to cover it from all sides of the spectrum so we can have a better understanding. A better understanding. And that, most of the time, clear out the lies and the fog when we cover it that way. We just can't come straight in and be like, oh, Mr. Kyson was the only one who did it. No, he was not. It's like 4 or 5 other people that need to be in jail with him. He was not the only one out there. He wasn't the only one out there. So I believe in due time, and as time go on, more information is going to come. If I could get Mr. Lockhart on the channel, I would love that too. It's a few people I wouldn't mind interviewing because I don't have no problem, because I know a lot of them don't like me anyways, but this shit is public information. So how y'all gonna feel some kind of way about me covering this shit when this is a story? This is a public headline. This is a story. This is what we do. So I just can't come in and just throw all the weight on one person. We got to cover and talk about everything that's involved, everybody that's involved, because it's still stuff that ain't making sense. But the whole she going to go do hair play, I believe that was a play that was just part of the setup. Could she possibly been hustling on the side and told Miss Wanda that allegedly, or could she really been on her way to go do hair and they pit stopped through Dork Place and she never made it to the person hair she was going to go do? They saying Kyson people got a lot of dreads. Maybe she was going to go do one of Kyson people hair. All his friends got dreads. We don't know who hair she was going to go do. That's something I still would love to know. I believe Mr. Lockhart is the one with that information. We know Miss Wanda said she was going to do hair. Cameron, Ms. Lockhart, is the only one who knows if she was going to go do hair, because she rode with him. She would tell him, hey, take me over here to Door Place real quick, and then take me over here such and such. I do that hair. Was she ever going to go do hair? Or was that a play for her to come out the house and do the whole thing? Like I said, the whole outside, trying to get her to go outside. That's how the play had to be ran. And like, this wasn't, like I told you, it wasn't random. They just didn't get robbed and assaulted and all that day. It was planned already like a week and a half before. Look at all the subliminals that happened up until she died. The whole back and forth in Miami thing. The whole social media shit. The whole, her Instagram story with the dudes in the back on the car, in the back seat, a week before she passed. It's just too many things that line up that make it seem like the back door was unlocked and they'd been playing for about a week and a half or 2 weeks. That's how Dork Place even came involved. Whatever happened, he felt very comfortable in Dork Place. Dork Place was a very comfortable place. Only thing that I always wonder, is Dork Place unfamiliar territory to Mr. Lockhart and Boog? Have they been on Dork Place many other times before the assault? Or was it their first time going over there? Because what make me feel like it wasn't unfamiliar territory is how many people Mr. Kyson knows on Dork Place. And it seems like that don't seem like it was either Boog first time or Cam first time. Who knows? It don't seem like this was their first time over there. I don't know. But what is a fact is that they was lured back there. They just did. They weren't rocking with Kyson like that, where they just like, oh, we about to blow down on Kyson. No. They was lured over there. They was called over there to do something. And when they got over there, that's when the play started. That's when the dudes, wherever they came from, surrounded the car. And then it was like they was in a driveway. So if Cameron pulled up in his driveway, where did the masked men come from? Did they come from out the house? Did they come from the backyard? Like, because they surrounded the vehicle. So did they approach the car coming from behind the car? Because think about it. Cam and Boog was sitting in a car, allegedly in this driveway, right? If they in this driveway, if they weren't looking in the rearview mirrors, where did they see? Because I believe if they would have seen them dudes coming towards them from the front of the car, it ain't nothing to bag out and pull out. Why not bag out and pull out? Unless they crept up on them from the back of the car and pulled up to both sides of the doors with the pistols to their head. That's the only way I could really see that going. That's the only way. Because if they're in the driveway, you see them coming out the house with guns, you reversing and pulling up out of there. Boog and Cam was sitting in the car when they got approached. So what makes it seem, if the car was in the driveway, they had to come from the back to surround that car. They came from the back and approached both of the windows from both sides. Three people probably went on Boog's side, said she was the target, and the other two went to the driver's side and snatched them out the car. That's the only way that went. That's the only way it could have went. Unless they ran up on them in the car and robbed them inside the car and never made them get out. Because I'm trying to give y'all different scenarios from different sides of the spectrum so we could really be like, so it can make sense. Because from what I was thinking, they was sitting on the street, right? I'm like, they must was on the street back there by the circle. But then emails started coming, and then in the lives, you know how y'all communicate in the live. Shout out to y'all. I love when y'all comment and talk back. So when the comments was coming in, it's like, no, they was in a driveway. I'm like, there's in a driveway. It's like, yeah, there's in a driveway. They went on the street. So that's when I started doing more information. I'm like, okay, I see the whole driveway deal. So y'all, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good morning. Thanks for staying up late with me. I had to get that off my chest. I fell asleep at 7. I woke up at 11. So y'all know I had to tighten up my little information. And then I jumped on here to show y'all some love. Man, y'all go sign that petition for Boog so we can get her own day in her own street. Shout out to the pipeline. Hit the like button on your way up out of here. And also hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. So every time my video drop, you will get a notification that I'm live. Salute. Until next time, y'all be safe.